Reilly, please utilize the raise your hand feature. Robbie, we'll start with you.
Hey, Pat, when did you find out you were starting today, and what was different for you today compared to your previous starts?
Brownie came to me in the bullpen before yesterday's game, and this is something Jack and I talked about on Thursday night. He knew he wasn't feeling too good, and he told me personally. But I knew something was going to be up, so Brownie came to me before the game, and he told me that. So kind of tonight, I kind of just mentally, or last night, I mentally prepared, and then today I just came out with a different mentality, knowing I trusting in myself and trusting what I can do.
Chris Lee.
Yeah, Patrick, you were throwing a lot of fastballs, and they were laying off a lot of them at times. What was so effective about that pitch, and what was it about what you were throwing that you think was kind of confusing them?
I honestly don't know. I threw it hard. I was throwing it hard today. I felt good. I hit a lot of my spots, so I think just playing that, using that primarily, and then throwing in some cutters, some changeups, it kind of kept them off balance, and we couldn't pull the trigger.
Robbie, back to you.
Pat, how much confidence can you take from this, especially with how well you pitched against the top of their order, which is three guys who are above 300 and really good hitters?
A lot. I think last week helped. I think I'm just gonna keep building on it, and next week, whenever I throw, whether that be starting or out of the bullpen, I'll be ready to go whenever Corbin and Brownie need me.
Any other questions for Pat Reilly? Great game today, Pat. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, we're ready for Coach Nick.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. As always, if you have a question for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature. Chris Lee, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Tim, I asked Patrick this, but I want to get your perspective. What was it about his fastball today that was giving Alabama so much trouble?
I just thought I had a lot of life at the plate, Chris. It was, I don't know what the spin rate was of it, but you can see when a ball starts jumping at the hitters, and I just thought he did. And I thought the attack, too, it almost felt at some points in time that, the hitters may have been sitting on spin, and then they get beaten with the velocity. But I just thought his attack was real good, and it was forceful, and he was getting down the hill. And I think anytime you get down the hill, you get more extension to your ball. So I just thought it had some jump and life at the plate.
What is the spin rate on his fastball typically?
I don't know what it's pretty good. I think in comparison with the rest of our pitchers, I think it's pretty good, but you probably get a pretty good indication how guys get off their swings.
Robbie.
Hey, Tim. Pat said that he talked with Jack a couple days ago and had an idea that he could start because Jack said he wasn't feeling well. What was the discussion process, deciding to rest Jack, and do you think he's going to be okay for next weekend?
Well, yeah, he's going to be okay. Just take everything one day at a time. But the discussion with Pat was simple. You're going to pitch.
Oh, sorry. I meant the discussion with Jack. Like, I don't know if it was it an easy decision or, how did that go?
Yeah, I mean, I think this time of year, I thought it was easy. I just think that, we've got a long way to go. I know what the circumstances are. Every game is important. Every series is important. But at the same time, you got to preserve the health of the kids. And sometimes you need to step back. We did it with Kumar as a freshman and do it at some points in time. It's a lot of volume in a short amount of time.
Max.
With Jack, is there something that tips you guys off to the fact that he needs a week off, or is it more general fatigue?
Just fatigue.
Chris Lee.
Yeah, Tim, Cooper seems to be swinging the bat better. Looks like he's getting down the line better. Is he getting healthier, just getting used to playing again? What do you see from the dugout?
Well, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think there's some juice in his hands. There's some juice in his body. I think, I probably go to bed every night praying for health for the kids, in terms of getting guys back. But sometimes when you're able to sit some guys, it's very beneficial for them to get their legs back underneath them. And I thought Cooper has been able to do that. But I agree with you. I think there's more life in his body. I think there's more life in his hands.
Eric Hall.
Eric Hall from the Tennessean. So is there any illness or injury that contributed to the decision not to pitch Jack this weekend?
No.
Okay.
Robbie.
Carter Young, swinging the ball or swinging the bat really well the last 2 days. Is he, what do you think maybe he has improved on, if anything, over the last week or two when he's been hitting better?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's getting the barrel to the ball, Rob. I just think more than anything, I mean, he was on time for the breaking ball yesterday. He's on time for the fastball today. And I think when you have a couple good swings underneath your belt, your confidence is pretty good. He's seeing the ball pretty well right now, and that's good. He hit a couple balls hard the other night at Louisville too, or he had one ball hard, and we just didn't have anything to say for it. But I think Carter he's steadily moving in a consistent direction.
Max.
Who starts tomorrow?
I don't know. I mean, I think Little is probably the one guy right now that we could probably point to that's in the position to do so. But we'll talk about it here in a little bit. But we went into this thing with a plan, obviously, when we knew we had an idea of what potentially we were going to do with Jack. So I think if we could get to the point where we could use him, or I'm talking about Little now, we potentially would do that.
Chris Lee.
How happy were you with the way your guys approached the fastball? Because it seems like you guys hit his pretty well, especially in the earlier innings today.
Yeah, you're talking about their guy, right? Yeah, I mean, you talk about spin, Chris. That kid spins the ball real well. I mean, his fastball has some life at the plate too. I was concerned about that, and I'm sure Bax and Mass were with the hitters. We talked about it. They had to get over the top of the fastball, really, if they were going to have any type of success. But, I think the key for us today was really navigating the bottom of the zone. I thought we did a really good job of staying off the breaking ball down, and it put us in favorable counts for the most part. But I thought we did a good job with him. Smith is a very good pitcher for sure.
Robbie.
Schultz is available tomorrow, right? I would assume.
Schultz is available too, Rob. So we could go Schultz too. Yeah.
Any more questions for Coach? Great. Coach, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks, guys.